Okay, so let us start. In physical inventory document, we have got some specific uh, reasons like cycle count, okay, low stock, standard physical inventory on plan. So these reasons we can define under the reasons and priority subnode. Okay, so we have got reasons and priority subnode under ROS number specific setting. So it depends upon the ROS number. So let us see. Okay, yeah. So we have got ROS number specific setting, reason and priority, right? So we can define the priorities, we can define the reasons, we can define the reason for differences. So priorities we have got. So these are the priorities like this for our best practice warehouse. These are the priorities 1 and 2, high and medium and low. Okay, 3 priorities are there. And we can define the reasons. So these are the reasons like we can see for our best practice warehouse 1710, right? This is standard and unplanned physical inventory. So first is the unplanned, see the priority. Then is standard physical inventory second because of the changing nature of the delivery date and quantity nowadays, right? So we are bound to follow the unplanned or ad hoc basis physical inventory count in place of cycle count. It is rarely used nowadays. Okay, now let us see next note. What are the reasons for the differences? We can define the reasons like for our best practice warehouse 1710 or any specific warehouse. Let us suppose that 1155. So these are the reasons, maybe for customer claim, for correlation, for inspection document, for STO pending claim, right? So these are the particular reasons for differences we can define. That is the difference between the SAP book value and the actual count results, right? What are the standard reasons for each physical inventory procedures? So these are the standard reasons, right? Like I can say for 1710 annual physical inventory, this is the standard. Then AL. A is for the product specific, right? AL for the storage location specific, storage bin specific basically. CC for product specific. So we are doing CC cycle counting especially for product specific. So these are the specific procedures we are following based on the reasons. Okay. Low stock physical inventory LSPI. It is low stock. It is very specific scenario for a specific product for a particular customer for the time being, right? Not for a whole year. We are doing it. Low stock. Now In physical inventory count, we have to define the tolerance group, which is one of the most important thing. So tolerance group, basically it is applicable for the difference analyzer, posting differences and recounting. Three different scenarios. For difference analyzer, it is a tool to do the settlement of the physical inventory quantity difference with respect to the S4HANA inventory management or EWM template, right? Now, what will be the tolerance group for the specific users? So it is user specific. Like a tolerance group, we can have for background, it is 100%. Okay, for clerk, it is up to 10,000, right? USD. For supervisor, there is no value, means it is unlimited, no tolerances. He can do any type of quantity and value. So quantity is directly related to the value as per the materials accounting part, accounting view, right? So these are the three specific tolerance group we have defined. One is the clerk. Background means user base. Background means user specific. Maybe some super user or end user. For clerk, it is 10,000 USD. For supervisor, it is blank, means limitless, no limit. He can do everything. Okay. Similarly, we can define a particular group, and this group has assigned to this particular users group. Okay. And he is responsible based on the approval value tolerance for doing this operation for difference analyzer, just like PO approval process. So here also approval process specific activities is there. Also for posting differences, here also we have got some allowed permissibles, like for supervisor, clerk. Okay. So these are the specific tolerances we are having for posting differences. FI posting, right? For recounting, recounting, right? So what is the limit for recounting? So here counter is a particular tolerance group. So it has got no tolerance. But the value based, we have got 1000 USD. So all depend upon the different scenarios. One scenario may be for difference analyzer tool. Second scenario may be posting differences, and third event may be recounting. Okay. Reconnect to the system record. You want to see the details? No. Now let us see. Other. Standard design we have seen. Physical inventory specific setting also we have seen. Tolerance group we have seen it for analyzer. For recounting also we have seen. Now let us go for mobile data entry system. We know that mobile data entry system is applicable for the radio frequency application. Radio frequency application is used for the physical verification of the field work with respect to the integration of SAP system, real-time integration via radio frequency handheld devices or auto ID infrastructure or radio frequency fixed tags may be located at the particular storage bin or at the door of the warehouse, right? So these are the different kinds of the events we are having in mobile data system. So here we have got one verification profile. This verification profile we have to define here, and this verification profile has got some inbound and outbound specific uh, business object like source handling units, destination bin. Similarly, source bin or destination handling unit or destination bin. Similarly, next verification profile may be for outbound source handling unit and destination bin. Next is the YE0004 for outbound application, outbound operation, source bin and destination bin, right? So these are the different verification profile we can define, and for each verification profile we have some specific field to be taken care. So what is the specific field? NLPA, NLPLA and VLENR. So what is the meaning? These are the specific bean we are having. So which field it is having? So let us go to the mobile data entry for verification control. So this verification control provides the control parts for our specific warehouse for mobile data entry system. Okay, so let us see the control part. So we have got a specific node called mobile data entry. So verification control, right? So define ROC specific verification. Yes, define ROC specific verification. Then how to determine it? So these are the ROC specific verification. So let us suppose that these are the four for our best practice warehouse 1710. These are the fields, right? Now let us suppose that for first option, what is the ROC specific verification object? What is NLP? Okay, so let us enlarge it or F4. What is NLP? Destination storage bin. Okay, it is the technical name of destination storage bin, right? What is VLENR, right? F4. It is the source storage bin. So based on the storage bin values, we are having this particular verification profile. So this profile has to be defined in the storage bin value. So where is this in the storage bin? That's also we can see, right? So let us go to the storage bin screen /n/scwm/ls03. Okay, /scwm/ls03. So let us suppose that any storage bin GR zone, let us suppose that. Okay, we can find out any bin. Okay, now this is the verification control. Okay, so this verification control we can maintain here. You can have a 4, or you can do the in the chain mode. So this verification control should contain this storage bin number only. Why? Because this will be sensed by the particular RF handheld device HHD using the particular SSCC code, EAN 128, right? SSCC code it is known as. Okay. Now, other verification code is PVV. It is not for RF. It is for peak by voice. It is based on the HTML setting. Okay. Hypertext markup language is there. Now, this is for. It is similar to the RF, but it is HTML based peak by voice. It is the voice recognition system using the HTML6 process or HTML method for identification of the products. And this verification field is applicable for RF. Second one for peak by voice. It is another process similar to RF using the HTML method. Okay, so you can enter, save it. That's all. So this verification field value should be equal to the storage bin number as per the nomenclature practice. Okay. Now, any ROC specific object, we have seen it. Now define ROS verification determination, how to determine it. Let us see how to determine this particular, for which operation it will be applicable, maybe for put away, for stock removal, or for internal ROS movement, for which operation it will be having for this verification determination. So how to determine the verification? Okay. So let us go there. Or specific verification object. So we have seen how to determine it, means based on the operation. Which operation? Like for 1710, one is the for put away, second for removal. Okay, for a specific activity area, for a specific verification profile. Okay, third one for stock removal, but activity area will be different. Okay, general data entry for RF, voice recognition for peak by voice, it is not required here, right? Verification profile will be the different. Okay, based on the definitions. Here, the activity area will be different. Verification profile will be different, right? So all this depends upon your specific activity area needs. Like activity area 0Y041. It is for storage type Y041. So most of the time storage type is 1:1 relationship with the activity area for simplification. Okay, it is for simplification so that our warehouse staff should not be confused. Now, how to maintain this different barcode? Okay, so we can maintain this EAN 124, 128 EAN 128 barcode, right? And we can describe the data. We know that, and also some global barcode are also there. How to assign this barcode with a particular ROS number, right? We can assign this barcode to our specific ROS number 1710, right? Save it. Yeah, we can assign this barcode EAN 128. It is for SSC. See a barcode, SSCC barcode, or other things are there. They are not so much usable, but first two are very important. how to define this warehouse with verification, and how to determine the particular verification profile. Okay. Now here also we have to define some specific resource in mobile data entry system, because resources are very useful in mobile data entry system. Resources can be defined as forklift, or maybe manual, or lift, elevator, conveyors, or automatic guided vehicles, okay, or automatic storage and retrieval system, ASRS. So all the resources are usable in EWM complex, right? So like we have got cross process setting. Under this we have got resource management, and we have to define the resource types. Like we have got a GCP company made forklift. Okay, so the resource type may be forklifts, maybe forklift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so in this way we can define the particular resource. So here we can see we have to define the resource type, cross process setting. Resource management, resource type. Like 17, it is the particular resource type. Access to bin all type of handling unit and groups. Okay, now for which bin access types it will be applicable. Okay, so what is the meaning of high level order picker, or without high level order picker, or low level order picker? Okay, so all these particular events specific accessibility will be assigned to this resource type. Okay, maybe bin access, maybe handling unit type group. We can make the grouping of the handling unit type. Okay, similarly for other resource type, low level order picker, LLOP. So what will be the bin access? Okay, phrase F1, low level order picker. If you do not have any specific parameter here, you can go for create new values. Similarly, handling unit type group, you can assign F4. Okay. So this is the resource type specific need. We can define the queues also. So as I have told yesterday that queues are the imaginary pipeline contains the messages. Here these queues are applicable for the messages or information content for the job distribution list for individual groups worked in the warehouse for goods movements happened via RF devices. Okay, so it is applicable for the RF devices specific queue definition. It is not for the queue definitions for errors or any specific information or message. These queues are applicable for the RF inbound, outbound, and in internal queues based on the goods movements happening in warehouse. So here it is also happening under resource management. Define the queues, right? We need to define the queues, how to determine the queue criteria. So these are the definition of queues, like 1710. We have got very specific queues, custom queues. Okay, or maybe let us suppose that for simple queue 1155 warehouse inbound internal and outbound. Very simple. What will be the queue type? Followed by the operation environment. It is for RF. It is not for MFS. It is not for non-RF. Okay. So all these activities we need to assign here before the actual operation start. But this is a pre-configured, predefined rapid deployment solution. We need not to be worried. Already our experts from SAP have created lot of data in this particular education and development specific system. So SAP is taking extra charges for this system availability. For any implementation journey, we should have this type of pre-configured, predefined rapid deployment solution in specific system. Okay, for understanding. And from this, we can do some small changes based on the customer needs in present or maybe in near future. So here we can see queue determination criteria, maybe for queue. Okay, for this activity, for this particular activity area, for this particular source activity area. Okay, for this activity, destination activity area, what will be the source, what will be the destination, how to determine the criteria for the queues. Okay, what will be the access sequence of the queue, like for this, based on the sequence number priority, it has got source area, destination area, source bean, what will be the process style, basically into account. So WPT, for us process type, should taken into account. Maybe what will be the activity, put away, picking, or physical inventory, right? We have some defined queues for PI, especially for physical inventory activities. Modes are some specific scenarios. It is not used in RF area, but these are the usual RF areas activities. Resource type, queue types, and queues, and also define the specific determination criteria, whatever for queues. We have seen what will be the source, what will be the destination, what will be the activity area, what will be the activities. We can have some description there for the values. Okay, so this is the particular activity we are having in this arena. Now let us see, any question is there? VAS, yeah, we can see VAS also, because VAS, we have described VAS in POSC. So in POSC, we can use the VAS order. Nowadays, people are using POSC, process oriented storage control, as a value added services because of the simplification. So VAS, yeah, basically process oriented storage control we are using for simplification of the value added services. Because VAS order, if you are creating VAS order, it is becoming complex situation for the warehouse operation people, especially. So VAS nowadays, yeah, LOSC, yeah, LOSC we have described. Basically, LOSC is coming under cross-process setting for stocks. LOSC and POSC both are hand to hand to each other. For any combined operations, POSC is the first priority followed by the LOSC. In MFS, we are using POSC, process oriented storage control, followed by LOSC. But LOSC is having many difficulties. Like in LOSC, we can see, so this is the best practice warehouse. This is the particular storage type, right? Source storage type. This is the particular source storage group. We have defined some group for this storage type. This is the particular, you can say, destination storage type. And LOSC is used for the goods movements at different heights. Let us suppose that you want to move the goods from ground floor to second floor. Okay, but you cannot move these goods movements for such a high difference of height. So you have to make one intermediate first floor for LOSC process. So LOSC is used where we have got some intermediate storage area for goods movements at the height. But POSC is also applicable there. The problem in LOSC, I have described that ID point and peak point. People are not identifying the ID point. People are very difficult to maintain the ID point and peak point in the data. Hence, for simplification, nowadays, most of the companies are using POSC only. Process-oriented storage control. POSC can fulfill the objectives of LOSC very easily. Very easily. Because peak point ID and ID point, peak point preceded by the ID point, it is very difficult to maintain by the business. Very difficult. Because we have got one interim storage section also, interim storage type also. So this interim storage type and interim storage section can be maintained in POSC easily. Easiness of POSC. Here also we have got WPT. Here also I have got intermediate bean. So this intermediate bean is acting as a bridge in between ground floor and second floor. So first floor is the intermediate storage type, for example. Okay, so this is the LOSC concept for setting in this particular format. So we have to define the interim storage type, interim, intermediate or interim, same thing, interim or intermediate storage section or storage bean to make the process flow efficient. Then we have to define the specific WPT and ID point and peak point. For simplification, many people have not defined the ID point and peak point. By using this WPT, we can do. Okay. If you define ID point and peak point, there is no need to define the WPT, like first one. Right. If you define the WPT, it will be controlled by the WPT most of the time. It will be controlled. So WPT is more efficient with respect to the other business objects. Okay, so this is the POSC process in a nutshell, but people are facing many problems in POSC. So sorry, LOSC. This is the LOSC process, layout oriented storage control. It is used in the case where we are having the problem of making the goods movements from ground floor to second floor at a higher height. And here we have to define a particular intermediate zone. So this zone should contain intermediate storage type, storage section, and storage bin. followed by ID point. It is the source where we are having this particular zone, and peak point is for the destination. ID point is applicable at the source, peak point as the destination. Okay, thank you. So this is the POSC process we are having. But nowadays people are least use POSC. Sorry, LOSC. POSC, process oriented. So POSC we have discussed a lot. So this is the POSC process. We have got external process. We have POSC storage control. We have got storage process, which is most important one. So let us see our best practice warehouse. YI01. Let us see. It is unloading and put away. Duration 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So it is directly connected to the performance of the labor utilization. Top 3 are very essential. Last one is not required. It is the control. Okay, like so this control. Yeah, welcome. Okay, so this control we can have forbidden, means omit it, leave it. Okay, for this warehouse we should not use it. Forbidden means remove it. For customs, block the stock. Okay, so these are the specific settings we are doing in POSC. We should not save it. So these are the notes for POSC. Now let us go to our syllabus. What are the pending things are available? We have completed, I think, customizing menu, right? Yes. Now I shall send this customizing menu specific configuration document and followed by the presentation 1 second more. So we need to see the syllabus here. What is the syllabus applicable for this batch number 4? Let us see the syllabus. Extension, we can touch MFS also today. Some high level touch, not so much micro level, because MFS requires some integration of other MFS specific Telegram software and hardware, because MFS is applicable of the automation of the goods movements using the PLC based devices. The PLC based devices are cranes, elevators, lift, conveyors. Okay, so they are all PLC based devices. PLC stands for programmable logic controller. So this programmable logic controller provides the seamless connections of the data communication to SAP defined EWM platform via Telegram. So telegrams are essential for executions of the other operations like warehouse tasks or warehouse order propagation for inbound and outbound operations for material flow or internal movements for material flow. Okay, bean to bean movements, or maybe storage type to storage type movements, or one handling unit to other handling unit movements, maybe for put away movements, for picking. All these movements is followed by the particular PLC based telegram process.